is Amani Merzeban. The paper is entitled The Effect of E-Learning on Education Process Enhancement and In-House Customer Satisfaction and Experimental Design. The higher education sector in Egypt plays an important role. The exponential change in technology initiates improving its services. As a result of the increased pressure to improve competitiveness and due to COVID-19 pandemic circumstances, academic institutions are motivated to adopt a system perspective, elevating strategies towards achieving e-learning. This research is mainly targeting exploring practices of e-learning in higher education, its influence on enhancing the education process and in-house customer satisfaction, the students. The research problem here, the main objective of this research is to investigate if e-learning teaching method compared to the traditional teaching method at different colleges at the Arab Academy for Science, Technology and Maritime Transport, AASTMT, would overcome the gap to realize a higher perceived quality level than that created by using the traditional education approach. I will state some important highlights from the literature. Several studies discussed the effectiveness of e-learning education by putting a frame for successful measures to evaluate e-learning in universities. More understanding is needed on how students perceive online learning to apply those approaches effectively in order to enhance the learning process. A lack of practical studies on the evaluation of e-learning, of learning management systems, the LMS, in higher education institutions. Studies didn't show how different criteria affect the LMS. The evaluation of e-learning in higher education totally depends on assessing the criteria that contribute in enhancing the education process. All the studies suggest that comprehensive reviews as well as monitoring of pre-existing e-learning systems are a must to determine the efficiency of e-learning in terms of user satisfaction, academic achievements, service quality, and performance. The hypotheses of the research are strongly supported by the literature. It was proven that the effect of e-learning has a distinguished effect in analyzing the main dimensions of the study. As for in-house customer satisfaction, the hypothesis number one, the mean effect of e-learning on in-house customer satisfaction would be higher than that of the traditional learning. And the first hypothesis was supported by literature. The quality of achievements. 5 essential dimensions to increase e-learning quality in higher education comprises the model, structure, content, delivery, system, and outcome. Comparisons reveal that e-learning students had better and higher achievements than traditional students. And on the other side, other studies concluded that the use of technology seems to lead to a very low student achievements improvements in lack of student interaction, which is a very important matter. Researchers recommended the necessity of lecturers' availability for students online or in person to prevent isolation feelings. Accordingly, the second hypothesis would be stated: the mean effect of e-learning on quality of achievements would be higher than that of the traditional learning. The third variable is the performance. 3 main factors in the assessment of e-learning were suggested. These factors are continuous assessment tests, assignments, and semester exams. Online learning evaluations increased empirical evidences and have effective roles in enhancing the education process. Accordingly, the third hypothesis would be stated: the mean effect of e-learning on performance would be higher than that of the traditional learning. The hypotheses and models are derived from the literature of the previous studies. Therefore, the current research will demonstrate the evidences needed from the analysis of the quasi-experimentation design results. This is the suggested study model. The dependent variable here is showed, that, which is the teaching method. The independent variables are the in-house customer satisfaction, the quality of achievements, and the performance. The IQ here was used as a covariate in the analysis to control the extraneous variables, which are the students' intelligence levels and the students' learning capabilities. The research methodology. I will talk about the research design and measurements and study sample through the research experiment plan figure. To examine the research model, the research adopted here is the quasi-experiment design to test the research hypothesis and to examine the suggested model. Its basic design is post-test and control group. The post-test design measures the effect of independent variables on dependent variables. The experiment consisted of two groups, control group, a control group, and experimental group. The control group is the traditional, and the experimental group is that of the e-learning. A structured questionnaire to collect students' perceptions and fulfill the research variables was used among students in different colleges. And the analysis was through SPSS 25 and AMOS 22, a statistical software used for structural equation modeling, path analysis, and we used also the confirmatory factor analysis. The study, the data analysis, the data were collected from a sample of 515 students. And after data cleaning of the missing data, the sample resulted in 453 students. 237 students were registered in the traditional teaching method, which represent 52% of the sample. 216 students were according to the e-learning teaching method and represent 48%. The response rate was approximately 88%. Students were subjected to a 41 questions questionnaire to measure two of the dependent variables, which are quality of the achievements and customer satisfaction. The performance was the data regarding performance was collected through 7th-week exams, 12th-week exams, quizzes, final exams, grading, and GPA for determining each student's level of performance. After the analysis, we could conclude many findings, analysis, evaluation, and conclusion and recommendations. The measurement model fit. The table here represents the measurement model fit. It shows the overall quality standards for the measurement model, and it is considered as the overall quality measurement for the three variables of the study. We used confirmatory.
2 minutes, please. 2 minutes, please.
Pardon? Sorry?
2 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome. The hypothesis tests. First, the research hypotheses were tested using multiple analysis of covariance, MANCOVA. IQ was used as a covariate in the analysis. And second, the fit of the model was tested using the SEM model, performing using Amos 22. The table showed that the effect of e-learning teaching method on customer satisfaction is higher than the traditional. Also for the quality of achievements. Accordingly, these results supported the first and second research hypothesis. The effect of e-learning teaching method on student performance showed that there is no difference between two groups. Both MANCOVA and SEM analysis reached the same results, where the first and second hypotheses were confirmed while the third was not supported. The quality criteria of the study model, both MANCOVA and SEM analysis reached the same results. It is showed here in the table. And the following is the study model. It shows the significance of the relationships and the quality of the model. Discussion and recommendations. The factors that affected the enhancement of higher education at AASTMT should be used as guiding tools for higher education in Egypt. The study could generalize that e-learning teaching method has a positive effect on in-house customer satisfaction and quality of achievements. The performance was the same in the regarding performance because AASTMT gave clear instructions to highly interact with students online. This interaction improved the performance of e-learning teaching method, and this may be the reason for not having any significant difference among both teaching methods. Recommendations. Universities should revise their online measurements by focusing on the interaction between the professor and the students. Improvement of the e-learning system in different universities should be revised as a reassessment for universities. Study limitations. The study was not generalized in public universities as they are different cultures. It is recommended to be generalized in public universities. Large samples also would be recommended. More dependent variables to widen the scope of the study. Longitudinal study during 2 consecutive terms or more to follow up with students' performance in more depth. Finally, a future research for the impact of e-learning on academic staff. Thank you. Thank you for your time.